Welcome to my dying channel.
I mean, my room hasn't changed that much. I got a bed, you know, a blue blanket. That's cool. Gone is the old shelf. I kind of have that up in another room so that way I can put my games and DVDs on it. But over here, I kind of keep everything, just books. So I'm going to go ahead and start off over here. Another thing, everything is kind of different up here. Ooh, bad lighting. Everything is different up here. Obviously, I got my Fullmetal Alchemist box, my Attack on Titan like special editions. I got a Sonic Mania cartridge, my first issue of Sonic the Hedgehog, a few game guides, Bibles, books, just Appalachian Guide trails, stuff like that. There's a Kingdom Hearts 3 box, right there. There it is. Good job. Oh, and the Grand Masterpiece. Got a Sonic Mania statue. Got this Kingdom Hearts 2 poster. And this How I Met Your Mother poster over my bed. Nice. That's basically it. All, like, change-wise, there's not that much. So I'll go ahead and get off with why you guys are here for the actual books. So, obviously, Attack on Titan, volumes 1 to 27. Just a little tangent real quick. I'm really unimpressed with how Amazon delivered this volume to me. I got it and it was creased and bent, and as you can see, the spine is peeled right here. Highly unimpressed with what Amazon did for me, and so I mean, I trust it and I like Amazon, but it's just the last few volumes I've been getting have been really underwhelming. Anyway, that's besides the point. Attack on Titan, everybody knows what it is. You know, the series of giant people eating smaller people and the smaller people trying to fight back. A lot of you probably know what Attack on Titan is, and so I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. Attack on Titan Before the Fall, Volume 1, however, this is a side story, and then I have No Regrets, which I have done a review on, if you guys want to go watch that. These are little side stories. Obviously, this one's Before the Fall of Shiganshina, and No Regrets is Levi's backstory. I really recommend these. I haven't read Before the Fall, but I can recommend No Regrets. It's a 2-volume series. It's pretty good. But Attack on Titan overall, it's definitely a series I feel like that every collector should have. It's a very good series, and I love following it. I'm still caught up with it right now, and I think it's still great. This is all Season 1 right here, but obviously if you guys have watched Season 2 and Season 3, you guys know that it does pick up the pace, and then later on it gets even more insane, so I can't wait for that to be animated. I haven't watched them, but I know exactly what's about to happen, and so I will say that it's pretty good. Blue Exorcist, Volumes 1 all the way to 21. This is up to date. Blue Exorcist, Rino Kumara, the son of Satan, gets his powers and realizes, hey, I want to kill Satan. Pretty out there plot. I do find it very entertaining, though. I think that sometimes it pushes the knowledge at you a bit too much. Like, they're trying to give you concepts to understand all at once, and I feel like that it's a little overwhelming sometimes, but other than that, it has good action. I like most of the characters. Some of them are a little annoying, but for the most part, I do recommend this series. It's pretty good. Right now, the releases are really slow, and so they take some time to pump them out, but if you go ahead, if you like the first 2 volumes, then I think that you're gonna like the rest. I'd say that it starts getting good around Volume 8, like, that's when its best stuff is, but I still say that volumes 1 through 7 are still good. But if they don't catch your fancy, then you're probably not going to like this series. I recommend it, but it's just some people, it takes them a little bit longer to get into. And finally, on this shelf, we have a series that I actually haven't read. I got this the other day for about $5. The first volume of Dr. Stone. This is a new series that's out right now. It's like it's a really good and popular series for Shonen Jump, and so I picked it up because I thought that I'd be interested in it. I don't know much about what it is, but I'm definitely looking forward to reading it. I'll give my thoughts on it later on, but for right now, Dr. Stone, Volume 1. Now we're on to the main shelf. A lot of you guys, I heard that you guys were not happy with my disappointment shelf. And sadly, before we get into it, I sold Death Note. I did not enjoy Death Note that much. I didn't think that I was going to reread it. I thought it was a very solid series. I scored it very well. I just didn't enjoy it that much. So I did sell it, but that's nothing against you guys. If you guys enjoy it, you guys enjoy it. If not, I'm sorry that I have upset you and messed with your opinion. I'm sorry that you all are butthurt, but that's not the point. Point is I'm going to tell you more about these manga right here of what I do have. So first up we have volumes 1 through 16 of Fire Force. This is written by the same guy who did Soul Eater. It's about these people having to go around and they work for this thing called the Fire Force that take out people who spontaneously combust and light on fire. And the Fire Force is there to take them out. But there's this huge conspiracy going on with the main character Shinra trying to figure out what his powers are for and why he's so special. And it is pretty good. I've only read to about right here. I don't know if these two volumes are have picked up anything crazy. But I will say that from volume 1 all the way to where I'm at right now, it's really solid, very entertaining, definitely something that anybody can pick up and read. Apparently, it's about to get an anime this fall, and so I'm pretty excited about that. Don't think I'll watch it, but I'm really glad that it's picking up speed and getting some popularity. Obviously, you guys know exactly what this is. Full Metal Alchemist volumes 1 all the way to 27. I have the box set over there, as you guys saw. But Full Metal Alchemist, a lot of you guys know what this is, but if you don't, it's about Edward and Alphonse Elric, who lost parts of their bodies, so that way that they could bring their mother back, but it did not work out, and so now they are trying to get their limbs back with a thing called the Philosopher's Stone. And then there's also a huge conspiracy going on. There's all these things called the homunculus that are walking around that they have to fight. It's insane. Literally every single volume of this series is absolutely fantastic, and I can recommend this series to anybody. I'm not going to go too into detail with it because a lot of people already know what this is, so I'm just going to move on to the next one, which is The God's Lie. Now, I've done a review of this. It's a 1-volume series, a small romance series about a boy who meets this girl, and they start to hang out in the summer. And all in just a few weeks, they become very good friends and realize that there's that the girl's hiding a dark secret. But I'd say that for the price of what this is, great volume. Definitely go pick this up. It's not that expensive. It's made by Vertical, which it does kind of poke out right there, which could bother some collectors. But I'm saying that this is definitely good. You're paying very good money for what's given to you in 1 volume. It looks absolutely wonderful. The art is great. This cover in and of itself is just, it's wonderful. So I can't say this enough. Go read this. It's a good romance with a very good twist. So for you people that are a little against romance, this is something for you. Next up, we have volumes 1 through 7 of Hunter x Hunter. I've literally collected no Hunter x Hunter since last year, and I'm just going to say it. It's not a very big priority to me, especially because I know that it's on hiatus. I do love Hunter x Hunter, and I do love what I have right now, but I'm not really willing to collect any more of it just because I know that there's a good chance that it may never get finished. And so I don't want to get really into it and then collect a bunch of it, and then it just absolutely just stops. If Togashi were to die right now, then that would be very upsetting. Maybe somebody would take the mantle, but for right now, this is just on the back burner. I'll collect one maybe once this year. I promise you that. I'll collect 1 volume at least of Hunter x Hunter before the year is up, before next year's video comes out. But if you don't know what Hunter x Hunter is, or Hunter x Hunter, however you want to pronounce it, it's about this child named Gon who wants to become a hunter because he was inspired by somebody who he had met earlier, and his father's apparently a very famous one. And so he's working hard and met all these friends, and he tries for the hunter exam so that way he can travel around the world and basically be an adventurer with a license. That's basically the deal. Very entertaining, great adventure series, and I would say that if you're willing to get into a series that doesn't have a solid ending, then yes, go for it. Up next, we have The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess Volume 1. That might go all the way down here to Volume 4. There's only 4 volumes out right now. I've not read any bit of this yet, but I can say it's probably just a very rough adaptation of Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, the game. Akira Himikawa does it pretty well, and this is a few pacing details here and there, but for the most part, her adaptations are pretty good, and so I do intend on reading this just after it finishes. I don't know how long it's supposed to have. I thought it was supposed to end last year, but apparently I was wrong. So hopefully, when it ends, I can get around to reviewing that, because apparently it's supposed to be a little longer than I expected, but that is quite okay. And If you don't know what The Legend of Zelda is, it's a game. You can easily find that online. I'm not going to go into detail of it because obviously it's an adaptation, so that would kind of ruin the fun. But yeah, pick these up if you would like to. If you're not a big fan of video game adaptations, like manga-wise, then you probably won't like it. But I'm a Zelda fan, so I decided that I would like to pick these up, and so I have. Next up, I have Lone Wolf and Cub, the omnibus. I got this for $3 at a used bookstore, and I was like, that is too good of a deal to not grab. So I went ahead and got it. Don't know what it's about, but I've heard a lot of good things about it, so I'm going to read this first volume, and if I'm interested, I'm going to slowly pick up more, because these are Dark Horse omnibuses, so they are kind of pricey. They're a little bit hard to get behind, and so I'm going to see if I'm really interested in the series first before I go on with it. Next up, I have one of my favorite series here, Magi, volumes 1 all the way to 19. I'm working on collecting all of Magi right now. Apparently, the final few volumes are supposed to be releasing in English soon, so I'm excited for that. But for right now, I just have these 19 volumes. I've only read up to volume 8 so far, but what I can tell you is that I absolutely love it. If you don't know what Magi is, it's basically about this boy named Aladdin who has this magical flute called a djinn, and he meets his buddy Alibaba, and they work on a dungeon, and they are trying to conquer it, and there's a lot of government things involved in the very end, but it's a lot more than meets the eye. It's a very good action-adventure series with a lot more emphasis on there's like politics in the land, and they want to work on freedom for people because there's slavery, and it's a very great series just overall. The character designs are wonderful, the art is great, and I absolutely love how these all are. I love the multicolored spines. It's really cool, and I absolutely I can't recommend this series enough. It's absolutely great, so go and pick this up whenever you would like to. But they're just like, they're from Viz, so they're like $10 each. But right now it's around 30-something volumes, and so if that's kind of scaring you away, don't worry about it too much. Just pick it up slowly, and if you like it as much as I do, you'll pick it up a lot at once. But that's all I got to say about Magi, or I will go all day because I have so much praise for it. This is a new series that I actually just got today, which also Amazon messed up. They messed up my spine right here. Darn you. Well, not spine. They messed up the back cover. It's kind of bent. You see those back pages are bent too. And the spine's a little messed up too. But that is okay. Mob Psycho 100, written by the same guy who does One Punch Man. It's also the artist who does One Punch Man too. Not Yusuke Murata, but it's actually done by One himself. Dark Horse has picked this up, and I don't know much about Mob Psycho 100, but I know that if it's written by One, then I'm probably going to like it. So I picked up the first 2 volumes just to see if I like it or not. Hopefully I will, and if so, I'll keep on collecting it, but for right now I can't give a solid word on it. Next is the biggest anime, I think, right now out here in the West, My Hero Academia, all the way from 1 to 19. I got 19 today in the mail. This series is great. Basically, just think of Sky High or just as an anime, and if you don't know what that means, Izuku is trying to become a hero, but it's kind of hard because he doesn't have a superpower that they call quirks on this planet. So he works really hard, and he meets his all-time idol, All Might, and he works really hard and inherits his superpower and is now trying to go up in the ranks and become an actual full-fledged superhero. It's so great. Every single volume is just full. It's like Magi or Fullmetal Alchemist. Every single volume is just full of great stuff, and it's very entertaining. All the characters I love, and it's just, it's such a good series. It definitely has the rights to be as popular as it is out here, and so I love it. Definitely go and pick up My Hero Academia whenever you can. This is one series that everybody has to have. Next up is Noragami, volumes 1 all the way to 10. I also didn't collect much Noragami from this past year. If you don't know what Noragami is, it's about Yato, who's a stray god, and he is trying to get people to use his services so that way he can become a more well-known god. He's basically trying to become popular. But it's also got a soul eater type deal where he is taking out demons, and he has a human that can turn into a weapon. If you were interested in this series at all, luckily it just came back from hiatus, and so volume 19 is coming out either this year or it already has come out. I know that's gotten off hiatus because Adachi Toka was actually sick, and so she's better now. But gladly, fans of the series can rejoice that they are able to get their series back. I like this series. Love the art. It's a great looking series. Definitely pick this up if you guys would like to. But if not, it's understandable. It's a very slow series to get into. It takes about 3 volumes, and that can kind of turn some people away. So it was hard for me at first, but I absolutely loved it after volume 3. I thought it was really good. But after that, I have One Piece. These are all the little things that came from the box set. There's a reason that I have these in here. I have the Romance Dawn, which is the prequel story, like the pilot for One Piece. I have the Strong World one that came with the second box set, which is the telling of the actual movie. And One Piece with Dragon Ball and Toriko. And these are just little side stories. I have my One Piece in the same spot as last year. And I'll show that later, but this is where I keep them out here so that way in case I want to pick these up and read them, because they're very small reads. They come with the box sets though, so if you don't buy the box sets, you're not going to get these. Next up I have also The Beast itself, One Punch Man, volumes 1 all the way to 16. This is up to date. I absolutely love One Punch Man. Season 2 really disappointed me from the animation point of view. I think it did for a lot of people, but I still say that the manga is doing great. I love the manga right now. It definitely has hit its peak and is actually going into its full-fledged story, which is wonderful. If you don't know what One Punch Man is, it's about this guy named Saitama, and he's basically tired of being a weakling, so he works really hard to become a superhero, and he becomes so strong that he can beat everything in one punch, basically becoming One Punch Man, as the title suggests. And so he works really, really hard, and now he's just kind of bored because he doesn't have anybody who can fight him. But he still has to go up the ranks because he deals with all these troubles, and it's really funny because it has the same dynamic. They work really hard to fight a very tough villain, then Saitama just comes out of anywhere and just punches it away. It's really funny, and I definitely recommend the series. It's one of those that every manga owner should own. If you don't have it, shame on you. If you do have it, not shame on you because you're doing it right. I promise you that. Next up, I have Orange, volumes 1, 2, and Future. I got Future. I wasn't really interested in picking up the sequel story, but I also got it for $3. I keep on moving. My camera keeps on falling off the thing. I'm sorry about that. But the thing is I picked this up for a really cheap price, so I was like, I'll keep it. If you guys remember, this was on my disappointment shelf. Not because I was disappointed in it, just because I kind of wanted other things to have priority of it. But I put it back on the shelf just so that way I could have it all in alphabetical order. But you know, this is a good series, good romance series with kind of a time travel twist to it. If you're into that, there's only 2 volumes for it, but this I haven't read yet, so I can't tell you exactly if it's going to be good or not, but these 2 are the whole series, so if you would like, you can go pick those up. If not, that's completely fine as well. I think you're going to enjoy the series if you like romance. Next up is The Promised Neverland. I think one of the best shonen right now. It's about a group of orphans that live in this orphanage, obviously, and they're realizing that they're working hard and getting smart so that way they can be eaten by demons. And so these kids would like to escape. So that's entirely their plan, and they are trying to escape. And they escape probably around I think volume where are the rest? Oh, it's out of order. Oh no, I'm so sorry. It goes 1, 4, 8, 9, 5, 6, 7. I'm so sorry about that. But they kind of escaped, I think maybe around volume 6 or 7. I could be wrong. I don't know how the manga is, English release-wise. I read it offline, I'm caught up, but I don't know how these releases are. But this is definitely one of the best shonen out right now. Go and pick it up if you haven't. It's only 10 volumes out right now. I just got volume 10 today in the mail. So I'm all caught up with it. And it's absolutely great, so go and check it out. Next up is Siren, volumes 1 all the way to 16. That's complete. Siren is a great series, I think, about a boy who gets trapped in a future world of Earth. It's kind of like an apocalyptic Hunger Games type deal. And so he has to work together with his teammates to try and get out of there, but they have to go back every once in a while because Siren is basically their future world. So they're trying to figure out how to fix it and make sure it doesn't turn into that. I haven't read the full series yet, but I got it for a really good deal. So I'm really excited on reading all this, and hopefully it's good. Next up, we have Scott Pilgrim, volumes 1 through 6. Also haven't read this, but it was too good of a deal for me to miss out on. My buddies and my cousin keep on recommending this to me, and so I finally bought it. I'll get around to it eventually, but I heard that it's a very good like science fiction, nerd, geek type of comic, and I heard that it was really fitting for me, so I went and picked it up. I'm looking forward to reading this as well. Shaman King volumes 1 through 7. Yes, I didn't get rid of this because I've also heard that it's a good shonen series. I'll give it a shot, but if not, I don't know if it'll be sticking around for too much longer. I'm going to get to about volume 10 because I keep on picking these up for about $2 a pop. And so they're too good of a deal for me to not get on. So I went ahead and just picked up these volumes. But maybe next year we'll see if there's more or if there's less. Who knows at this point. A Silent Voice, volumes 1 through 7. Great romance series, great story about a boy dealing with his own self-grief of how he's messed up in life and how he wants to kind of redeem himself. This is a very odd romance series. It's definitely wonderful. I would recommend this to anybody. This is the whole box set. Got it for $40. Go ahead and check it out if you're a romance person, and if you're not, I don't know if you'll like it or not, but there was a movie to it. It definitely was picking up a lot of popularity, and so I can say that I recommend it, but some people may be turned off by, the romance part of it. If not, I definitely say that any manga collector should have this if they're into romance. Next up, oh boy, I love it. Soul Eater volumes 1 all the way to 25. This series is my pride and joy. Definitely one of my favorite series of all time. Soul Eater is about the school known as DWMA that train children to have a Meister and a weapon pair, which the weapon is a human that turns into a weapon, and they have to fight witches, absorb 100 souls, and make a death weapon. And so they work really hard, they fight a bunch of witches, but then they have to fight things called the Kishins, which Kishins are basically lost souls. And so Soul Eater tells a story of Maka Blackstar and Death the Kid as they work together with their weapon pairs, and they have to fight the Kishin. And I love how it gets darker towards the end, and then it turns back to white, basically saying of how the ending, is all back to normal. But I love this series, love every single page of it. Some people will be turned off by the fan service, but I absolutely love it for its story and its action. So anybody should go and buy this. This is such a good series, but it's again priced, so it's like $13 a piece. Oh no, it's like, I got this when it was like $12. I don't know if you can read that, but yeah, definitely go check that out. Finally, I have empty shelf space here, so this is where my collection ends right here on this shelf. I have Tagami Bachi, volumes 1 all the way to 11, so I'm almost there. I'm almost completed with it. Got about 9 more volumes left. Tagami Bachi is about basically postmen who deliver letters, but it's a lot more important than that. They realize that there's a lot of heart connected with every single letter, and so it's a lot more passionate. So they try their best to try and get the letters there as quick as possible. With their special gun powered by their hearts, they can make it all the way there. It's basically Kingdom Hearts, but if they were mailmen. It's called Letter B, which is the English translation of it. So far, I've loved this series for a long time. Definitely not one of my favorites, but it's one of my guilty pleasures because I do like the corniness of it. But I still have to give it a reread so that way I can actually tell you if it is a series worth getting or not. But I'd say that this is a pretty solid series so far. From the 7 volumes that I had, I haven't read 8 through 11. So go ahead, and if you're interested and it sounds good to you, then go ahead and pick it up. My final series on this shelf is Your Lie in April. Your Lie in April is about a boy who was a piano prodigy, and he played his heart out until his mother abused him, and she ended up passing away. And then after he meets a young girl who kind of brings him back into the passion of piano, he doesn't know if he can do it or not. It's a very nice, sweet and good romance series that I definitely say is heartbreaking. If you guys know the series at all, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. But it is definitely one of my favorites, so I'm glad I'm finally getting into collecting the series. But for right now, I'm going to have to wait until I finish it all up so I can reread it again. It's a great series, and if you like romance, then go ahead and pick this on up. Now on to my smaller shelf. This is dedicated to my bigger volumes. On top I have a record player with everything in there. But if you are at all interested in any of these series, I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. So first up, I have the one-volume series written by the guys who did Death Note, All You Need Is Kill. It's essentially Groundhog Day, but this one guy is stuck in the middle of war, and he dies every single day, and he has to relive the same day, dying every single time and trying to break the cycle. It's a very interesting series, but it's only one volume. I'd say it's one of my favorites in my entire collection. Definitely need to give this a reread. I've done a review on this series, and I'd say that it's worth your while. It's definitely enough bang for your buck, so go ahead and pick this up. Buddha. This is written by Osamu Tezuka, and I only got volume 2 of it. I don't know don't know at all what this series is about. I just saw Tezuka's name on it, and I was like, I gotta pick this up. I got it for $6 at a used bookstore. Same day I got Lone Wolf on Cub. And so I was like, wow, this is a definite score, so I'm going to pick up volume 1, and I'm going to read these 2 volumes and see if I'm interested in it at all. But knowing Tezuka, it'll probably catch my eye, and so hopefully it's not too expensive and costs like $1 billion. Next up, Dragon Ball Z. What else do I need to say about Dragon Ball Z? It's in my collection for a reason. It's about Goku. He fights stuff. I think that if you're at all interested in manga or anime, you know exactly what this is. This is all Dragon Ball Z. I'm still going to be working on collecting Dragon Ball, which is in and of itself 5 volumes in these Vizbig editions. I love the Vizbigs. And so I'd say if you're going to collect these, there's multiple ways to get Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. There's in and of itself the single volumes, and there is now 3 ways to collect it. Holy cow. There's 3 omnibus editions that you can pick up. And then there's a color edition for Dragon Ball Z, and so you have multiple ways to get your Dragon Ball Z fix. This is just my version of picking it. If you want to go try and buy the box set, go have fun spending $200 on that. I'm going to be skipping on that because these are a much more efficient way, and I think that they are just a bit nicer. But that's just my opinion of it. The Legend of Zelda, volumes 1 to 5, which includes Ocarina of Time, Oracle of Ages and Seasons, Majora's Mask, Link to the Past, Four Swords, Diminished Cap, and Phantom Hourglass. This is all of Zelda that was printed in these legendary editions. They are great looking. You can open them up, and they have a few color pages at the beginning. I did a review for Ocarina of Time, and I can sure as heck tell you these are very nice volumes. They're very good quality. Viz worked really hard to make sure that these were well preserved. Like I said, you have the color pages right here. I'm on the floor currently because it's a little too low for me to squat. You have all these, and like I said, you have like the first few pages that are colored, and I'd say it's a very good deal. You basically are getting 2 volumes for half price, almost. Just for these, or you can go buy the box set. I recommend these because I think they're a bit nicer, but for now I'm going to be keeping hold of these because they're very good. Up next, Phoenix volumes 2, 5, and 6. If y'all want to know the story of Phoenix, of how I got it, it's in my last video, so you all can go and watch that. But the thing is that Phoenix, haven't read it yet. Know it's a masterpiece, but like I said, if it's got Tezuka's name on it, I'm gonna read it. That's all I can say on it. Planets, volumes 1 and 2. Holy cow, Planets is great. It revolves around people who are basically space janitors. They fly around and they collect debris so that way it doesn't endanger people who are flying around in aircrafts to the moon. And this is absolutely a great series. It is a psychological, just great story, and I absolutely love it. Yukimura definitely blew me away. I love Vinland Saga, and this is definitely in my top 5 favorite series of all time, not only in my collection, but this is for sure a series that anybody should get a hold of. It's only 2 volumes, which is insane. They're a little hard to find because, you know, Dark Horse, and they're a little pricey, but definitely if you have the chance, go and pick these up. It's wonderful. I have a review on it. Go and look at it. Oh my gosh, I can't give this enough praise. Solanin. I've actually never read anything by Inyo Asano. But the thing is that I picked this up because I knew this was a 1-volume series. I haven't gotten into it also, but looking forward to it when I do get around to it. Obviously, I have a lot of things in my collection that I need to be reading. But the thing is here is that Solanin is just one of those series that I've heard a little bit about. Hopefully it's good. If not, well, you'll definitely hear me say it in a review. Tokyo Ghoul Volumes 1 all the way to 14. Wow, I hate how it deceives the reader by making it seem like it's the finale when it's actually not. I'm not gonna collect any more Tokyo Ghoul Re, as I said last year, just because I feel like I've been kind of like messed with as a consumer, and I don't know why they would just continue it like that. I'm also not really interested in reading any more of it. I thought that it ended very well when it did, even though it was kind of a cliffhanger. It wasn't much of a cliffhanger, but it had enough, you know. The ending was, without many spoilers, a solid way to end it without me having to go on and read anymore. And so I'm content with what I have of it. It's definitely a good series, and I reread it around Halloween because, you know, spooky. Tokyo Ghoul is about a set of people on planet Earth called ghouls, and Ken Kaneki ends up becoming a half ghoul, half human, and he has to adapt to living like one, so he can't eat actual food. He has to eat human flesh in order to be sustained and, you know, not die. But he's having to live, you know, a part of ghoul culture, and so there's people wanting to track him down and figure out if he's a ghoul or not, and so it's very odd. And so I like the series. I think that it's pretty solid, not as good as a lot of people hype it up to be, but I'd say it's a series that you guys can go ahead and go get it. There's a box set for it that is a much cheaper alternative to getting it. These volumes are pretty nice. I love the art to it. The story is pretty solid, and I think I really like Ken Kaneki and how it just kind of shows his downfall from volume 1 all the way to 14. It's just absolutely wonderful. A very good and inspiring way to write your characters, and so I hope that a lot of other series can kind of take note as to what to do. And this is not even a psychological series, in my opinion. I think that it's just a solid action series with some horror aspects to it. But if you're a fan of Tokyo Ghoul, go ahead and keep on reading it. If you are wanting to get into it, then you have my seal of approval for it. And finally caught up to all of Vinland Saga. It's only taken me like 11 years, but I finally got up to all of Vinland Saga. I love this series. It's absolutely wonderful. It's a great Viking story. And I just think that anybody should go and pick this up. It's made by Kodansha. It's got very solid artwork. I can tell that I've had this for a while because the pages are yellow, but and it's a little pricey. I don't know if it's going to focus on that. Probably not. Maybe you can read it there, but it says $20. The art is absolutely amazing. This is just a spectacular series that I can't recommend enough. Yukimura, same guy who wrote Planets. You should go and pick this series up. I just got volume 10 today in the mail, so I'm finally caught up to it, and so now I don't have to worry about it until November, until the next one comes out. But this is just, I say it every year, I can't recommend it enough. It's just so good. Now I have changed things up in here just a little bit. I've actually not gotten any more Naruto. I plan on getting all that this year, but as you can tell, I still have all of the One Piece and Naruto in here. Here's all the boxes for it, as you can see. I'm a very big One Piece fan. I think that it is a very spectacular shonen series. I think that it's definitely influential. Definitely think that there's some low parts to it, not perfect, but I still love it, and will continue to love it all the way until the end. So as you can see, I've got for One Piece volumes 1 all the way to 23. That's the first box set with East Blue and Baroque works. Volumes 24 all the way to 45, which covers Skypiea and East Blue. And then I have volumes 46 all the way to 86 with 87, 88, 89, and 90, which consists of Thriller Bark, Sabaody, Impelled Down, The Paramount War, all of New World, which went on for far too long for these spines. And then I have the first volume of Wano, which I'm really glad that they changed the color of the spines, and that's great, and I love it, and I'm just so happy. But I will say this, I have a gripe with Viz Media. I want you to look at this. You see how all these have nice little white boxes, right? It makes me mad because why would you, 87 volumes in, change that? I understand that you're trying to, I understand. You're trying to make the new logo just stick out. But man, you just can't be doing that to One Piece because it's just too long of a series, and now I feel like it's unclean because, I can't do it, man. It makes me upset just to think about. But yes, like I said, One Piece is a great story about Monkey D. Luffy who wants to be king of the pirates. And so this is his tale of him gathering his crew of the Straw Hat Pirates, going across this ocean called the Grand Line to become king of the pirates. He started out from here, this young, scrawny little idiot, to a very strong idiot. That's basically it. As you can tell by all these spines, he meets a lot of weird people, and it's really cool. I think that there's a good possibility that there'll be a 4th box set. Will I get it? Probably. I'll probably sell the rest of these, get some good cash out of it, and then I'll buy the 4th box set just so that way I can have whatever bonus that it comes with. Also, it'll look good. I love how the boxes look, and it's very nice for me as a collector to have that. And I cannot forget about the Naruto I have. Naruto is obviously about the ninja who wants to become the Hokage, which is the greatest ninja in his village. I've got all the box set 1 all the way to 27, which consists of the first part of Naruto, and then when it turns to black, which is the second part of Naruto, volumes 28 to 48, so I have box set 2 and 1. There it is. I like Naruto. From what I read of the first part, it was really good. And then the second part has impressed me so far. I have not gotten to the ending, however. I know, and I've been spoiled about all that's happened, but reading the whole thing through is very interesting, and I'm saying that it's a very solid shonen series. Definitely, there's a lot better stuff. I don't understand of why these two series have become the big 3 when Bleach was still around. I guess it's understandable for the time, but I feel like that there is coming a shifting to the times, and that there will be a different big 3. I'm glad that this era is kind of leaving. I think that these are definitely classics, and they're some of my favorites. But I think that it's time to kind of ring in the new, and so that way we can get new shonen that are progressing all the way to the east and making anime and manga a more popular medium for people to get into. I'm saying that these are good, but their length right now is really, really, really turning people away, and so that's why I think that there should be just a new set. So if you can't tell, that's my whole collection. Right now, I'm standing at around 440 volumes, and I continue to keep on getting more. Hopefully, in the future, I'm going to maybe, just maybe, I'll stop. I doubt it, but you never know. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys were interested in any of these series, or you guys have any questions, put it in the comments, because a lot of people got upset last year. I can't wait to just hear how many people just would love to discuss more and more about how I just bashed Death Note last year. But with that out of the way, thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.